I want to offer you just a sense of where we are in the universe. And the only way I can do that is to get you familiar with numbers and their size. So here's the number 1 written 3 ways, needs no introduction. If you're unfamiliar with scientific notation, the 0, that's sort of the exponent there, tells you how many places to the right. The decimal has moved to the right of the 1, and it hasn't moved at all, so it's 0, right? A familiar number. Let's go up by a factor of 1,000. The decimals move 3 places. You got 10 to the 3rd, 1,000, metric prefix kilo. Go up by another factor of 1,000, you get 1,000,000, one with 6 zeros. Remember when computer strength was measured in megabytes and mega? There are 8 million people living in New York. 8 of these are my neighbors in New York. Go up by another factor of 1,000, you get to 1 billion. Carl Sagan's favorite number. In fact, if you bring your chin out and say the word billion, it sounds beautiful. We'll do it together on 3. Ready? First, stick your chin out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, billion. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That's just beautiful. Billion. That's a fun number. Anyone here 31 years old? Raise your hand. Got to be a few of you. Very nice. In this year of your life, you will live your billionth second. Yes, I'm geeky enough to have calculated this. 31 years, 259 days, 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 40 seconds. But you have to account for leap days and leap seconds, okay? I'm going to try to make an app that'll do this, but I haven't done it yet. I've been busy doing other things. But I celebrated my own billionth second with a really small glass of champagne. 50 of these billions, let's see, I think a neighbor of yours, he's a neighbor, right? Isn't he? He's like, you see him around town, I presume. His net worth is like $50 billion, plus or minus. I don't know if you know how much that is. I don't believe you know. You don't. In fact, I'm certain you don't, because I'm going to tell you. First of all, I'm charmed by the fact that the patron saint of geeks is the richest man in the world. That's a different world than it was when the richest people were sort of oil barons and steel barons. I did this math, because I walk along the street. You know, I have a job, and I own a home, and I'm walking down the street, and I see a coin in the street. My question to myself is, what is the smallest denomination coin that I'll bend down and pick up? Okay? Given the fact that I have a job, I own a home. The penny is staying. I'm not getting the penny. The nickel, no, I'm not getting the nickel. Dime, if I'm not in a hurry, I'm picking up the dime. A quarter, well, that's good for parking meters and laundry, plus it's a quarter, right? So I'm picking up the quarter. So for me, the boundary between picking up the coin and not is between a dime and a quarter. So I figured, let me ratio this up to that wealth and ask, how much money has to be laying in the street for Bill Gates to be too busy to pick it up? It's $45,000, okay? That's what it is. $45,000, I said, too busy. Somebody else get that. That's how rich the man is, in case you didn't know. Let's go to 100 billion. I've seen this number before. Where have I seen it? McDonald's. Actually, they had like a Y2K problem with their accounting. They didn't have a third spot, so they went to 99. Then after that, they just said, after Carl Sagan visited them, what do they now say? Billions and billions, of course. But I remember when they had 100 billion, if you lay those hamburgers end to end, you can do this. Start right here in Seattle. Go right across the Pacific Ocean, float them on a little plate. And you can come around back and come right back here to Seattle, across the Europe, the Atlantic, the United States, and come right back here with your 100 billion hamburgers, and you can do that 52 times. Then with what's left over, you can stack them with what's left over and make a stack high enough to reach the moon and back. Then you would have laid out your 100 billion hamburgers. This is terrifying news to cows, all right? I just want you to know. Also 100 billion. Do you realize that in 1 linear centimeter of your lower colon lives and works 100 billion microbes, which is a bigger number, about the same number, as the total number of human beings who have ever lived. That's what's going on in your lower intestine. Yet we like to think that we're actually in charge of things. But from the point of view of the bacteria, we are just a warm, dark, anaerobic location for fecal matter. It's just a reality check here, okay? We tend to make things nicer for ourselves with words. Like what's the book that has optical illusions? Who doesn't like a good optical illusion? Of course, that's not what they are. They're brain failures. That's what it is. A few more, and then we got a trillion. By the way, can you count to a trillion? Where's my 31-year-old? Yeah, so if you counted one number per second since birth, you'd just be getting to a billion about now. So if you wanted to get to a trillion, which is 1,000 times bigger than a billion, how many years would that take you? 31,000 years, right? With simple math. It takes 31 years to count to a billion, 31,000 to count to a trillion, so definitely don't try that at home. A trillion seconds ago, somebody painted those on a cave in Lascaux, France. We have billion, trillion. What's the next number here? Quadrillion. Someone said zillion? No, almost. Quadrillion. That's about 100 quadrillion is the number of sounds and words ever uttered by all humans who have ever lived. So these numbers are getting really huge, really fast. Billion, trillion, quadrillion, what's next? Quintillion. There's one of my favorite numbers, about the number of grains of sand on an average beach. Even the sand that comes home in your crotch, you know. I counted those, add all those up, they're in this number. Million, billion, quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion, a 1 with 21 zeros. Of what possible significance can this number have? That is the estimated number of stars in the universe. Some people, this depresses them. Among them, this gentleman, a professor of psychology at the University of Pennsylvania. We opened a space show 11 years ago that was a zoom out from Earth. And Earth shrunk down, and the solar system shrunk down, and it just became one of the stars in the background field. Then our whole galaxy shrunk down, and it was just one of countless other galaxies in the universe. He saw that space show. I am assistant professor of social cultural psychology, University of Pennsylvania. I want to conduct a research project in collaboration with the planetarium. My research focuses on the psychological experiences associated with feelings of insignificance. I'm thinking, damn, bummer of a job. What? What's he like when he comes home? Honey, I'm home. How was work today? Miserable. You know, how does that work? How do you even do this? I recently saw the space show at the planetarium, and needless to say, it was the most dramatic elicitor of feelings of smallness and insignificance that I have yet encountered. He wanted to conduct a survey. I'd be grateful we can conduct a simple questionnaire survey at the planetarium. They want to interview people going in and then coming out of the space show. I submit to you that if you go in feeling large and come out feeling small, it meant you went in with an ego unjustifiably high to begin with. The problem is not in the universe. The problem is within you. That's what I submit.